Welcome to the Self-Belief Podcast, the show that we shift your self-belief in, because self-belief shifting shifts everything. Just Being You, my long-awaited book, is now live on Amazon. The links are all down below. Today, we have the very lovely Patil with us, and she's going to share what it was that led her to create a life that she really wanted, rather than one that she just didn't want to live. Hi, Uma, how are you doing?
Hi, Jenny. I'm doing great. Thank you. How about you?
I'm really well, thank you very much. Getting a little bit of sunshine always helps, doesn't it?
Yes, that's wonderful. Wonderful to know.
So tell me a little bit about your story that led up to the moment when you went, this needs to change.
Well, I think this was in around 2019, 2020. We moved to the UK around 2019 of August, and I was a dentist by profession and teaching in a dental college as an associate professor. And having quit my dentistry, moved to UK, not having children made it very difficult for me to create a social circle, find friends. And that's when I went into depression and loneliness.
It's not just moving to another town in the UK. That's a complete country, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like even a complete like continent as well. So it's totally a different place, and everything was so different. And I had gotten homebound because I wasn't working, and I did not want to pursue dentistry because I didn't want to take up the same exams, which I was actually helping postgraduate students to take up their exams, and it made no sense for me. So I just wanted to take a pause. And that's when this depression and loneliness hit me, I first reached out to the NHS, and they put me through, and they asked me some questions and put me through to a cognitive behavioral therapist. And from there on, my journey began. But also at the same time, I was attending some yoga sessions in the, I think it was the gym. And I really had taken a liking to these yoga classes, and I used to chat up with the teacher. And she told me that your philosophy is great, and why don't you pursue yoga? And that's when I came to India to get my yoga teacher training certification done. I started teaching yoga in London, and I used to run classes through the week. And that's where, not just teaching students, but it actually created a huge shift in the way I started seeing things. And I think this was a pivotal point in my life.
So you were sat in this depression and loneliness, and actually you decided to do something about it. And
Absolutely.
Actively looking to change something makes such a big difference, doesn't it? Because if you sit and accept, I feel like this, that's where you're going to stay, isn't it? There is we are all responsible for ourselves, for what we do, how we act, how we react. So if you're feeling low, it's up to you to make some sort of change. And would you agree that actually nobody else can make that change for you?
Absolutely. Because people can only ask you to do certain things, give you tools, give you techniques, and they can extend a hand to pull you up. But if you are not, it's just a simile, right? You're in the well, there are steps, and there are people who are extending the hand. But if you're not willing to take that step and extend your hand so that they can pull you up,
that's a beautiful way of putting it. Absolutely. I mean, in my business, when I'm working with clients, I always have a call first of all to see whether or not that client is ready to make that shift, because I can work alongside you, but if you're not ready to shift, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change.
So true.
I,
So
I think
true.
that's also a beautiful way of making your shift, because, yoga is known to be
Yeah,
incredibly good for mindfulness, isn't it? And it's
absolutely.
not just an exercise, it's a whole way, isn't it?
So it's not just like the physical health that improves when you begin to do yoga. So if you follow the right path of yoga, it's not just about moving your body, but like being aware of your senses even as you move your body. And that's going to bring you to the stillness and help you to be more in the moment. And as you are being in the moment, you are neither thinking of the past and brooding, or worrying about the future and living in anxiety.
Yeah, and that's a real, my business is called Just Being Me. And actually just being me, so that it's the being, it's the
Yes.
being, not the doing, not
Yeah.
I'm not just doing me, I'm being me.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah.
something that when I first got into all of this was something that was really hard, because I spent, 30 odd years doing support anyway, but understanding being, that's really big, because once you understand how to be, you can actually support yourself, can't you? You can support your mental health as well as your physical, because you can just be.
Yes. Yeah.
And yoga and those types of mindfulness are brilliant for that sort of thing, aren't they?
Yeah. I 100% agree with you. It's about being in this moment where life is happening. Life is not happening anywhere outside of this moment. And if it's happening, it's here.
Yeah. And I have a saying for this, which is be more dog. My dog lives it now, here. What's happening?
Yeah.
My dog isn't thinking what's going to happen in the future and what happened in the past. My dog is thinking now.
True.
Just here, be now, do this, what you're doing now. We all have to live in the future for some, for planning, sorting out and what have you. But it doesn't mean to say you can't take the time to just be present.
Yeah.
So that changed your life, and that gave you a community, I would suggest, as well.
Yes, it did. And I had a couple of students. I also started teaching chair yoga. But unfortunately, in 2019, I had to move back to India. And but along the side, also, as I was teaching yoga, I came across Reiki, because I was struggling with my own issues of, self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, self-doubt, because I had never been an entrepreneur in my life earlier. And this was the first time I was working for myself. And I had the motivation and inspiration, but I lacked direction. I didn't know, how to go about on this journey. And I was always doubting myself and second guessing. And that's when somebody recommended me to see my Reiki master, and I started with some sessions with her. And I went on to take my Reiki certification. And in the interim, I also moved to India, completed my grandmaster level. And I did start teaching in India, but the way of teaching yoga in India is very different to the UK. So in UK, they attend classes once a week, but here they attend classes 5 days a week, or sometimes even 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And that was quite exhaustive for me, leading a class with a big group. And that's when I also started letting people know that I offer healings, and I'm a healer and a coach. And I can say that it was by divine guidance that the soul aligned clients were literally sent to me, and without much advertisement. I know you were going to say something.
Yeah, that's it. It's really interesting, isn't it? Because it's also about, I'm just written a blog about energy, and it's also about, it's divine guidance, absolutely, but it's also about the energy that you put out, so that the universe knows what to give you. Because if you're putting out the energy of, oh, I'm really not sure about this, I don't really want this, and I'm not sure that I can handle clients, this is all too much for me, then you won't get anybody. But if you're giving out the energy, it's saying, yes, this is exciting, I love this, it's about that energy. But that has to be true energy, not that sort of say it out loud energy, but not really believe it inside energy. So you're in a beautiful place for people to just arrive with you.
Yes, I think so. I guess so, because like Reiki had helped me to, reach that point. And I used to practice self-healing every day. And then like people, students or people were just coming into my practice. And from there, of course, I was still having connections with my friends, and I still do, with people in the UK. And one of my friend invited me to a women's circle. And through this women's circle, I met my hypnotherapy mentor. And I actually won a raffle in his manifestation challenge. And this raffle happened to be the initial part, the part one of his diploma in hypnotherapy. And yeah, and only then did I realize. So the universe was like, guiding me, blessing me with these things that I needed, not just to share with people, but I needed for myself. But I never knew that I needed it for myself. I then, during the hypnotherapy program, realized that I had a deep-seated childhood wound or trauma that I had experienced as a child. And all these people pleasing or self doubt or imposter syndrome, whatever you would name them, were arising from there. And I was totally unaware of it, because that's what the subconscious does, right? It hides the difficult areas and times of your life, and it doesn't want you to look at. And that's when during
away very nicely. Thank you very much. Puts it in the attic of your mind, covers it over with something else. And, we're just not deal with that. And what's really interesting when life's not going well, it's because you need to hold that box out of the attic of your mind. Nothing's going to go the way you need to do it until you get that box out, is it? Because those are the things that are holding you back.
Absolutely. And I was totally unaware.
I love the way that the universe also took you very gently, because if it had gone bam straight into hypnotherapy, you probably wouldn't have been able to cope.
No.
It's giving you all of these ways of supporting yourself, of sharing it with others, of gaining a community. It's giving you all these ways to the place where actually now we're going to deal with what's in your subconscious.
Yes. Yeah. I'm I'm grateful, definitely. And that's when I started adding that as well to what I was offering to my people. I called it hypno-Reiki, and I started with healing, and then tried to go deep into their subconscious mind when things were not supporting or going their way. And this was really going well. And I had to move to Pune. And it's like the universe is shifting me from one place to the other. And I was not really charging very high at that moment, because this is a small town and people, the economy is such. It's not that people don't have the money, but they don't have the awareness that these things cost so much, right? And so I was put into a bigger town, and then I raised my prices. I probably had 2 clients, and then I went into a complete block. No clients at all, no soul guidance, no divine guidance, and the universe said, fend for yourself. And I started doing all the possible things. Of course, another thing happened just before this. Being thirsty for knowledge and wanting to know more, I jumped into a program called as Quantum Regression Integrated Therapy, because someone from of course, it was my Reiki master who recommended this guy who was the founder of this program. And he was offering it at a really low price. And I used to have a lot of time in hand because it was COVID. And so I said, why not jump into this? And then I think I was doing a session. Someone in the group was offering me a session because we had to exchange sessions. And during the session, I had a vision in the session where I was talking to hundreds of women on a stage wearing a nice, beautiful gown, and people applauding. I was like, I never saw this. I mean, I didn't even imagine or even foresee it. This was not even in my visualization. Where is this coming from? And after that, I moved to Pune, and then I experienced a block. And that's when my coach came into the picture. And I was trying every way to market, to become more visible on Instagram. I did everything, was showing up. But I then he's like, you have all the confidence, you speak well, you are doing everything you can, but like, I think your messaging is not clear. I don't know what is your niche. And I'm like, oh, all these words seem really new to me and I don't understand what you're talking.
I get that. I really get that. It was like, well, it's a different language, isn't it? And actually, we start our businesses to support people, not to understand sales, marketing, accounting.
Absolutely.
So it is all new, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So he's like, I can help you and I can support you. And I was like, okay, I've actually been in a place where I've not been able to make much money, but then I can do something. I can either borrow or take a loan. And then definitely I want to take this forward because I don't like being in stuck places. So I'm someone who always takes action, who's willing to take the risk, willing to go one step ahead. And I signed up to his program. And then that's when I began my coaching journey. I mean, I used to call myself a healer or coach, but I never had a program. I did not run a 3-month or a 6-week. I did a 6 weeks program, but it was like I was hardly charging them peanuts and like it was not bringing in much remuneration. And of course, I did have dreams and goals of making it big, earning larger sums of money, even through healing and coaching. And I thought it would have been possible. But the way I was calculating is I would have been working all day, having 5 clients a day, and like, yeah. So maybe the universe wanted me to like enjoy what I was doing, even as I was doing it. And he sent me along the way and my coach. And with the help of the coach, I birthed my first coaching program.
Well done. Well done. And it's a real understanding, isn't it, that actually, you have to value yourself enough
Absolutely.
to take yourself forward. And but that valuing yourself enough is recognizing that actually you might not feel it now, but I value myself enough to take the steps to get to it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's your journey is an incredible journey through all of the different modalities to understanding actually, I now have this business where I want to do this. But you will know as a coach, again, that there's stuff in your subconscious that you're really not aware of. And if it's in your subconscious, it's very difficult for you to do anything about it because you don't know it's there.
True.
But I mean, I've just spent the weekend with a group of beautiful women, and it's really interesting what we could identify from the outside that they could not identify from the inside.
Very
and
true.
the only way to shift that, as you've experienced, is that you have to find that yourself.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
You can get support, but you have to find that. Somebody else telling you what to do doesn't help. You have to find the way that works for you.
Yeah.
And that's been your journey, isn't it? Finding out the way that it works for you. That's beautiful, Uma. So that's a little bit about your journey. Tell us a little about what you do now, just before we finish. What you do as your work.
All right. I actually am a holistic coach and a childhood trauma healing expert. And I help busy professionals who are experiencing burnout to come into their power with confidence and access their leadership qualities to embrace the actual boss in them. We all have that boss quality in us. But first and foremost, to come into your power, become more confident, and then embracing those qualities.
And I have never met, and I'm talking women here because majority I've worked with women, I have never met a weak woman. They're always strong. They might be in traumatic situations, but they are so strong to get themselves through that. And that's the quality we don't recognize in ourselves, isn't it? We feel like we're in a bad place. But the fact that you're getting yourself through that gives you, you are strong. You are strong and you can change your life.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your story. I mean, we could go on for hours, but I like to keep
course.
And we will put down below for anybody that wants to know a little bit more about Uma and what she does and maybe connect with her. We'll put all of the ways that you can connect with her down below this podcast. Thank you very much for joining me today, Uma.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Thanks for listening today. If you'd like to know more, you can find all the links down below. Oh, and don't forget to press subscribe so you can catch the next one.
See you soon.